Assalamu alaikum guys, you're watching Parina batool, NAZISH, and today we are discussing Russian Revolution in lecture number 17 of International Relations. First of all, introduction. Two revolutions that led to the demise of Tsarist regime of Russia and established USSR. These two revolutions were taken place in the February and October 1917. Tsar Emperor of Russia before 1917. The emperors of Russia before 1917 are known as Tsar. Russia in 20th century. If we will see the condition of Russia in 20th century, then we came to know that Russia was an agrarian country at the start of 20th century. The peasants of Russia were very poor. Tsar had imposed heavy taxes upon them. There was minimal industrial development. The workers of these industries had to face unhygienic conditions and dominance of elite class were there. Ideas of enlightenment during 18th century. Number of philosophers gave the idea of enlightenment in Europe during the 18th century. These ideas include democracy, rights of individuals, and accountable government. These ideas reached Russia in 19th century. What were the impacts of enlightenment upon Russia? Impacts of enlightenment upon Russia were people got some understanding of ideas of enlightenment, but they were not provided with democracy, rights of individuals, and accountable government. Rulers of Russia were absolute monarchs. Romanovs were ruling Russia since 17th century. The rulers of Romanovs were called as Tsar. These Tsars were absolute monarch. They had all the powers. Anti-Tsarist sentiments. Anti-Tsarist sentiments started in Russia got new Tsar in 1894 whose name was Nicholas II. He and his wife both were influenced by mystic named Rasputin. Rasputin was a church official, but he claimed that he can treat all the ailments. Later on, the story unfolded that the wife of Nicholas II, whose name was Alexandra, had an affair with the Rasputin. Public was angry with the Tsar and his wife upon this issue. Let's discuss the contribution of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin in the Russian Revolution. Karl Marx philosophy of communism. He has given the philosophy of communism. According to him, workers should have power, they should rule. In his theory, workers were termed as proletariats. Now let's discuss the philosophy of Vladimir Lenin. According to him, dictatorship of proletariats must be there. If proletariats will wait for getting power, then it will be too late. Some people should move forward to do dictatorship on the behalf of proletariats, which means that dictatorship of proletariat. This philosophy is also sometimes called as Marxist-Leninist theory. Now we will discuss Russian Social Democratic Party. This party formed in 1898 followed this party followed the philosophy of Karl Marx. Lenin was its founder, therefore the overall policy of this party was based on Marxist-Leninist theory. The main purpose of this party to look after the interest of workers. splitting of RSDP, that is Russian Social Democratic Party. This party split into two fractions, Bolsheviks and Mensheviks, in 1903. Bolshevik means majority, but it never remained in majority. Whereas Menshevik means minority, but it remained in minority as its number was bigger than remained in majority as its number was bigger than Bolsheviks. Both fractions were split because of the ideological differences. Mensheviks believed that there should be social or democratic character, whereas Bolsheviks adopted the Leninist theory, which says the dictatorship of proletariats. Workers should have power, there is no need of elections. This fraction was radical. Russo-Japanese the Russo-Japanese War in 1905 to 1904 to 1905. The Russian-Japanese War, both were empires at that time. Both empires wanted their dominance over Korea and Manchuria between them. Russia had the interest in Port Arthur, which was the only port which remained active for 12 months. Russia was badly defeated in this war. Humiliation in the war became the season for revolution of 1905. Revolution of 1905. Workers strike demanding better conditions and rights. They took the demands to Tsar, who ordered to open fire on them. As a result, all the workers were killed. This tragedy happened in Sunday, therefore this Sunday is known as Bloody Sunday in the history. Protest expanded to countrywide. Military tried to suppress them, but they failed. Formation of Duma. Tsar understood that he has to give some relief to the protesters to save his kingship. He gave a declaration which is called October Manifesto, under which a body of Parliament Duma was created. It was a representative body, only aristocrats and clergy were included in this body. World War One. World War One was started in 1914. Russia was also one of the main players of this war. War was resulted into the killing of 2 million soldiers and 8 million civilians of Russia. Russia also faced economic crisis and food shortage because of naval blockade of Russia by 1917. This was the situation in which the Russian Revolution started in 1917. Let's discuss two phases of Russian Revolution. There were two phases of Russian Revolution. First phase was in March 1917 and the second phase was in November according to Georgian calendar, which it was October, whereas it was October according to the Julian calendar. Therefore, the Russian Revolution is also called as October Revolution. Let's discuss the phase 1 of revolution. 50,000 workers did protest in Petrograd, St. Petersburg. Public protest also erupted. As a result, Tsar Nicholas abdicates in favor of his brother Michael. But he rejected the offer due to the situation at that time. Romanov dynasty came to its end after 3 centuries. Duma took the power and made government. Mensheviks were in power during this government. Kensuke became the prime minister. Mistakes committed by the government. This government committed two mistakes. It did not conduct action. It did not withdraw from World War One. These mistakes became the reasons of Second Revolution of Russia. Let's discuss the phase 2 of Russian Revolution. Bolsheviks, under the leadership of Leon Trotsky, demand immediate reforms and withdrawal from World War One. Government bans the Bolsheviks and arrests their leaders. After a few months, army tried to coup the government in August. Kerensky asked Bolsheviks to defend his government because he was not having army. Whereas Bolsheviks had Red Guards at that time, they defended the government against armies successfully. Bolsheviks empowerment. Lenin returned to Russia and started giving the speeches. He left Russia when the Bolsheviks were banned. His popularity increased. Workers' council in factories of Russia called a spade. Bolsheviks had full command over these Swedes. With the support of these Swedes, Bolsheviks changed the government. Blood revolution taken place. Russian Revolution or October Revolution. Lenin ordered Red Guards to capture all the buildings of Petersburg in the night of October 24. They took control of St. Petersburg in one day. They captured Kremlin in Moscow, and in this way they changed the government. Vladimir Lenin got into power. Russian Civil War. Just after the completion of this Russian Civil War started. Mensheviks were alive, they were not dead. Red versus Black fight caused the casualties of 0.3 million people. It continued for 4 years till 1922. Impacts of Russian Revolution. It ended monarchy from the biggest empire of the world and made it a nation-state. Gave practical shape to the communism. Prior to it, communism was only in books. Nationalization of all resources, abolition of private property, command economy, and five-year plan. It was first revolution which established true equality. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more videos. This channel provides lectures in international relations and gender studies and many other subjects. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.